All right. So, as you all can see, today we are going to be doing a mock draft since we are just about a month away from the real NFL draft. And in today's episode, we're going to be taking a realistic viewpoint at what could really happen in the draft. Based off of what we've been hearing and really what makes sense for most of the teams picking in the top 15 as we're going to go through the top 15 picks in the draft today. So, with that said, let's get started. Don't even need to look down for the first one. At this point, it looks like the Bears are going to be taking Caleb Williams with the first pick, with the first pick in the NFL draft. Now, there's a couple of things here. First of all, since I said it's a realistic draft, if you go to all of the odds markets, the betting markets, Caleb is a big favorite to go number one. And then the second thing is the Bears should be drafting based off of upside and potential. And I think Caleb has the most of that in this class, specifically with the quarterbacks. Between the fact that he's got the best arm in the class, the most fluid and natural throwing motion, the ability to throw with anticipation, and what I think is the quarterback that's most capable of becoming the most accurate at the next level. I think he's got the most upside at the position, and I think that's what the Bears should do with the number one pick at this point. So then we go to the second pick with the Commanders, and this one's a little dicier because we've been hearing a few different things here. We've heard the rave of J.J. McCarthy as of late. In the past 2 days, there have been opinions about him going second overall in the draft. If you were to ask me what I thought during the college football season, I would have thought it would be Drake May here, and then Jaden Daniels is the odds-on favorite to be this second pick in the draft. I'm going to go with Jaden Daniels here, and that's for a few reasons. First of all, the potential connection with Cliff Kingsbury as the offensive coordinator. Now, yes, in college football nowadays, most offenses are purely out of the shotgun, but did you know that in Cliff Kingsbury's tenure in Arizona, he ran most shotgun in the NFL, during that tenure. So I think there's an easy transition there. Also, I think Kingsbury does a really good job of finding clever and creative ways to get his receivers deep down the field. And Daniels has been touted as the best deep ball thrower in this class. And the Commanders have a weapon like Terry McLaurin. So I think it's not only the fact that Jaden Daniels is a really good prospect here. I think this could be a good fit for another reason, in that the Washington Commanders had one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL last year. And I think Jaden can neutralize that with his dual threat capabilities. So there's a lot to like there. And again, at this point, this is the most likely outcome. Jaden Daniels going to the Commanders. All right, at number 3, we've got our first trade. I think the Patriots are going to be willing to trade back and trade down in this draft. And I see the Vikings making this jump. Now, yes, they don't have a second or third round pick in this year's draft, but we know that they have the 2 first-round picks, and they still have some draft capital left for future years. So I think the Vikings make the jump here. Look, we know that at this point they want to take a quarterback. That's what we've been hearing. And they have a bridge quarterback now in Sam Darnold. So I see the Vikings moving up and getting Drake May from North Carolina. I think this is a good fit because, as I've said, Drake May is a bit of a project, and he gets to sit behind a guy like Sam Darnold here for a little bit. Learn from Kevin O'Connell. And we know about Drake May's traits. He just has a long way to go in terms of becoming refined. So again, at number 3, I've got the Vikings trading all the way up from 11, using both of those first round picks for this year, some future picks in next year's draft, and making the move there. So we'll move on to number 4, where I've got the Cardinals taking Marvin Harrison. Now, this is an obvious one as well. I go back to that first pick with the Bears taking Caleb. This is another somewhat obvious pick here in terms of what we've been hearing. And there's an argument to be made that he is the most complete receiver in the draft. Now, as some of you guys know, I am an LSU guy, so I would argue that Neighbors could be better. I really think they're just different types of receivers, to be honest with you. I think Neighbors is more explosive, whereas Harrison has the height advantage. I think Harrison, one of the bonuses for him is that he's a really versatile route runner. When I watch some of his highlights, I see him going underneath, intermediate, and deep, and we know about his body control, his ability to win in contested catches. So back to why the Cardinals would take him. Kyler Murray, they're committed to him. They have that big contract with Kyler Murray. So I see them taking the receiver here. And again, since it's a realistic mock draft, I'm going to go with the obvious pick that we've been hearing, and that's Marvin Harrison to the Cardinals. Then with the 5th pick, we've got another trade. I've got the Patriots, who moved back to number 11, actually moving up to number 5. So they still get some draft capital from the Vikings, and they have enough ammunition to move back up in the draft, where I think they take the aforementioned Malik Nabers here. Now, for the Patriots, you could argue that it's the weakest group of skill position players in the league, and I think they get a guy that helps out tremendously on the outside. The thing about Malik Nabers is my potential comp for him really is Tyreek Hill. Now, that's obviously lofty praise, but when you're talking about a guy that can help a quarterback pre-snap and really threaten the defense, that's what I see with Malik Nabers. So I see the Patriots acutely and smartly seeing a vision where they take one of the better players available. They missed out on those top 3 quarterbacks and really building a roster before getting their quarterback of the future. So that's what I see with the Patriots here. I see them jumping up to 5. And actually, as we move to number 6, I think you could interchange 5 and 6. I could see the Giants jumping up or the Patriots jumping up to 5 or 6. So we'll go with the Patriots at 5 and the Giants at 6. And this one with the Giants at 6 is strictly based off of what we've been hearing as of late, and that would be the Giants taking J.J. McCarthy out of Michigan. Now, I don't really agree with this one. I think J.J.'s getting a little overhyped at this point, but again, I'm going off of the buzz and the rumors that have been surrounding the Giants here. And the fact that the GM and the owner even came out and said, if our coaches feel the need to draft a quarterback at that spot, that's okay. So many think JJ is the 4th best or even higher than that. So maybe the Giants feel like they're getting some value here, even though I don't think they are. But again, realistic draft, we're going off of what we're hearing. So with that said, we'll move on to number 7 with the Tennessee Titans. Now, I think this works out pretty well for the Titans. They just get to sit pretty, and they get to address a position of need at number 7. I have them taking Joe Alt, as does all of the other mock drafts. So I'm being pretty chalky here, but I do see a good fit, especially in the AFC South when you think about going up against the Jags with Trayvon Walker and Josh Allen. When you think about going up against the Texans with Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter, they need a good pass protector. And now, in my opinion, Joe Alt is the 2nd best pure pass protector in this class, but some are saying he does have the most polished game at this point. Even some are saying that he has the most upside at tackle. I'm going to reveal who I think is the best tackle in the draft later on, but nonetheless, still a very good pick here for the Titans. And again, they get to sit pretty at number 7 and just stay where they are and address a position of need. Then we get to the 8th pick. The Falcons, in the same sense, also get to sit pretty, as I have them taking the first defensive player off the board. I'm going to have them taking Dallas Turner, again, as many other mock drafts have them taking Dallas Turner. I think the comparison between him and the UCLA pass rusher Latu is a good one. I see a more explosive athlete with Dallas Turner and more of a 3-down edge player at this point, whereas Latu has more natural bend. That's what I see. But I think the Falcons just get the more athletic, bigger specimen here with Dallas Turner. Not really bigger because Latu's a little heavier, but more explosive athlete. That's how I'll put it. Again, first defensive player off the board, so there's some upside there. Good pick for the Falcons. Then at number 9, we're going away from the position of need pick, and we're going to a value pick here. I think the Bears are going to go with Rome Odunze, the wide receiver out of Washington here. Again, they just got Keenan Allen. They already have DJ Moore, but it's going to be hard to pass up on a prospect like this. I mean, just a strong cat, a guy that can high point the ball, win in contested catch situations, pretty good after the catch, just a really good wide receiver option for the Bears here. And I think they get some value picking at number 9 after that first pick and taking Odunze. Then at number 10, we have the Jets. This is a bit of an interesting one. I've seen a lot of different players being selected here for different mock drafts that I've looked at. I'm actually going to go with Brock Bowers from Georgia. I think Brock is closer to his ceiling than some may suggest, but that is a pretty good ceiling. This can be a high impact player in the NFL. Obviously, as most of you know, he's more of a hybrid between a tight end and a receiver. But I think with the moves the Jets made in free agency by getting Tyron Smith at left tackle, trading for Morgan Moses at right tackle, really shoring up that offensive line for the short term at least, I could see them just adding a weapon here and trying to help Aaron Rodgers. So I went with Brock Bowers there. Then at number 11, we go back to the Chargers. Remember, they traded back with the Patriots, who originally also traded back and then went up to 5 in my mock draft. And I'm going to have the Chargers taking Oregon State tackle Taliese Fuaga. Knowing Jim Harbaugh, I think he wants to shore up that offensive line. They already have the standout left tackle as Rashawn Slater is there at left tackle. You get that bookend right tackle as well, and the Chargers accumulate more draft picks. I see that being the case here. And he's a nasty player too. I mean, he likes to get downhill in the run game and really wipe people out. He's one of my favorite players in the draft. Just from an attitude standpoint, I think he's going to bode well in the NFL. Then at number 12, I think it gets pretty interesting here. I don't see the Broncos having enough ammunition to really move up in the draft. Maybe a couple of spots. I could see them moving up to 8, 9, maybe 10. But I have a feeling they're going to stay put and wait for the draft to come to them. I have them taking Michael Penix here. Now, the Sean Payton, Michael Penix connection. When you think about what worked for Sean Payton's tenure in New Orleans, it was a pocket passer, obviously, in Drew Brees. Even when Drew Brees went down, you had Teddy Bridgewater and Jameis Winston, who are also pocket passers. I happen to think that Michael Penix is one of the best pocket passers in this class. I really like this fit as just a guy that can accurately distribute the ball from the pocket. I think it works. Sean Payton is going to scheme open players for the quarterback, so he just needs the quarterback to accurately distribute the ball. I think Penix can do that. I think that's a really good match right there. So we've only got 3 picks left here. I do want to get to a comment. John Michael says, big upside potential for Kingsbury and Daniels pairing. I agree with that, absolutely, especially with the deep ball connection and the fact that the Commanders already have Terry McLaurin, who is one of the best deep threats in the game. And then the familiarity and comfortability with being a mostly shotgun spread offense that, again, is really clever and creative in terms of getting those explosive receivers down the field in a hurry from reduced splits, things of that nature. I love the pairing there. So that is a big reason why I went with Jaden at number 2. And then we go to the Raiders at number 13. This is a tricky one, but I'm going to go with a position of need on the defensive side of the ball, especially since they have Antonio Pierce as the head coach. And I'm going to go with Toledo cornerback Quinyon Mitchell. Some are saying he's got the most upside at the position in the draft. I think it's a good comparison with Terrion Arnold from Alabama. Both have the potential to be close to lockdown, shutdown corners at the next level. And the Raiders have needed to draft this position for a while, so I see them taking a flyer on Quinyon Mitchell here. Then we come to the Saints at 14. I think the Saints got an absolute gift here in this hypothetical mock draft. And I have them taking tackle out of Penn State, Olu Fashanu. again, I think this is just a gift. This might be filling the biggest position of need, more so than even the Titans or the Falcons or the other teams we've mentioned, like the Raiders. I mean, the Saints are desperate for a bookend tackle, really on either side right now, as it looks doubtful that Ryan Ramczyk is going to play for them at right tackle next season. And this is the other tackle that I think has the highest upside in the draft. So for the Saints to get Olu Fashanu at 14s and let the draft come to them, that would be a good scenario for the Saints. I love his ability to mirror in pass protection. I think at this point he's better at protecting against a pass rusher that has an array of moves as opposed to just one move. When you compare him to Joe Alt, I think Joe Alt can get pushed off his spot at times, but he'll get better as well. But home run pick for the Saints here, in my opinion. And then the last pick, we're going to go with Terrion Arnold for the Colts. Again, similar to the Raiders, I think another position of need. I really like Terrion Arnold's ball skills. His versatility as well. Daniel Jeremiah has pointed out that he can play inside and out. He's got good instincts. Really like Terrion Arnold here. So, yeah, that's going to do it for the 15 picks that I've got in this mock draft. This one was a lot of fun today. I won't lie to you guys. I've been waiting to do a mock draft, and I like the way this one shook out. I think I'm going to do a few more mock drafts before the real NFL draft. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of buildup. The draft is one of my favorite events of the sporting calendar year. So it's going to be fun. So thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned. Yeah, thanks.